Hello everybody, my name is Maruka and I would like to welcome you to my first video ever. So, let me tell you a little bit about what I got going on. Okay, let's see, my boyfriend is on the YouTubes as well. He makes Let's Plays, and one of the ones he's more known for is his walkthroughs of Warhammer 40k Dawn of War. He also does some Let's Plays of Biomanas, Quickshot, and Jurassic Park, and he's got a lot of others. He's currently doing a series about Magic the Gathering, and that's a card game, but he's doing the online version of it. So you should go watch him. Yep. Together, me and him are doing a Let's Play of Zelda, where he is playing the games and he and I both are doing random voiceovers, and it's become quite comical. Especially the way that he voiceovers the main character. Now his screen name is The Real Daisoon, so for those of you who know Daisoon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, you should go watch and see what I'm talking about. Thanks. Anyway, today I will be teaching you how to recolor Pokemon sprites. Now these are some sprites. Sprites are basically the small pictures on the video games. You know, you catch them and you catch the little sprite guy, and when you look at them in the Pokédex you see the sprite, right? Not the tiny one that has like 5 pixels, but the big one like this. It's got several. But as you can see, I have gone through and recolored them by myself to be demons. Now, demon, I believe, was invented by Laokia.com, which I don't think I'm not sure that that is the actual URL. So if you want to join a typing RPG, where you type the story and they reply and you type again as a reply, and that's how the story progresses. If you like those, then you need to Google Laokia V2. Anyway, so I have demoned up several of these, and you basically zoom in all the way so that you can see all the little pixels. And the good thing about Pokemon sprites, I don't know about other sprites, but because I've only really done Pokemon sprites, but the really good thing about it is you see how this looks like one solid color? If you zoom in on a picture with it with the solid color, you'll zoom in and realize that there's like a million different little pixels for that one color. Whereas for this, each shade is just one color pixel, so you can recolor it very easily. So here is Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, Ivysaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. Woo! Even Charizard looks really cool. So, this is what we're going to be using today. It may be easier for you to do it this way or this way. And these are color palettes. Color palettes make things so much easier to do it. Because if you try to do this without a color palette, you're going to be shooting blind and you'll end up making it look like a clown got a hold of it. So, whichever way you want to do it, it's up to you. I'm going to choose squares. So let's go over here and I'll show you who we are going to be recoloring today. We are going to recolor Rapidash. Rapidash, since Rapidash is pretty cool, fiery, let's make it look a little eerie, shall we? Now I've already completed most of it, but I will show you how to do, I left some of it so that I can show you how to make the color palette. Now here's something you'll notice. If you look at the eye right here and the ear, you notice there's an orange color here and a red color here. Well, that is the exact same red and orange as the fire. Not all of them will work out that way, and there's some other things you need to know too that don't actually apply to this sprite. Whereas these look exactly the same in this one, and they actually are, because I've recolored this one before and they are the same color. some of them will look a lot alike but won't be the same color. So you'll go back and recolor it and go, wait a second, why isn't this changing? Because the tool we're going to use is an eraser tool. And I'll show you that in a minute. But the other thing you need to realize is where, see how this looks solid white? Well, in this I'm pretty sure it is solid white, but some of them won't be solid white, whereas some of them will be. So if you get one that's solid white and you try to recolor just that spot, then you're going to end up recoloring your background too if you overlap the back. So you'll end up coloring like this part whatever color and this part whatever color if you try to do something like that for one of the other sprites. So just be wary of that. I mean, it's easy to fix, but it's mildly annoying, so you really don't want to have to deal with it. Anyway, let's complete this sprite. The only two colors that haven't been done is this orangey color, which it apparently picked up the wrong color. Yeah, there we go, bigger section. Oops. And if you want to undo something simply without going all the way up to the undo button at the top of the screen, you just press Control Z and it will undo it. See? Watch. Control Z. Now I don't remember the redo button because usually when I do Control Z, I always delete what I want to delete, so I don't really actually know the redo button. But we will do this. Seeing as that's all that's left. Maybe a little bit tall. Okay. So when you want to do this, I've already taken the liberty of making the first two colors. We're going to make an Eerie with green fire, or her, whichever you prefer. And we'll make it a little bit lighter green for the next section. See how the color palette makes it easy to see the differences in color? Whereas if you had them just like all over the place, you wouldn't be able to do it. Now a little bit lighter. I'll make this one. There we go. Now to recolor, you want to left click the color that this sprite already is, right click the color you want to make it, click on the eraser tool. And this is where the thing with the white comes in. If you use the eraser tool and you right click, it won't touch anything except for the color, see? Except for the color that you chose it to be. So we're going to go down here, and there are some border colors to Rapidash's fur that are this dark reddish color. So we're going to change those to dark gray. We're going to change the next brown color, which is still just a few outline colors, but if you leave them, it will look terrible, and you just gotta look at it and go, what the heck happened? So you want to make sure that you change all of those. So now we're going to recolor this. So now you couldn't see it very well, but now you can see how it's coloring all those little spots without recoloring anything else that you didn't want it to recolor. Check this out. This is a very simple, easy way to recolor, and that's why these sprites are great, because if each one of these was a different shade of pixel to come together to make one color, you would have to go in and individually use like the paint tool or the fill color tool and individually do it on every single one. But this way, once you have the color palette, you've got like 2 seconds and you're done. See, now we've got the gray Rapidash, and try to make sure that you get all of the pieces, because if you don't, you're going to look at it and go, hey, look, brown spot. Yay, fixed it. Now let's do the fire. In this case, his eyes are going to turn red too, or green too, see? Because they're the exact same color. If they weren't the same color, and they were just a tiny hair off the shades, it would not recolor the eyes and the ear. Or the eye and the ear. So basically, if you want to recolor 2 different things that are the same color, you want to pay attention and make sure that you go in and individually do those parts separate, otherwise they'll all end up the same color. So if you wanted the eyes different so if you were doing a Rapidash recolor and you wanted the eyes to look different, you would need to go in and change those individually and make sure that you didn't just mess up completely. Also, you want to be wary, because if you turn around and accidentally do it backwards, the eraser won't do anything. Like if you were to left click on the green and then right click on this and try to do it, it wouldn't do anything. But it would if you had made the color change. If you wanted to go back and you have one of those computers that doesn't like the backspace a lot, you could just do it that way. That's another good thing about the color palette. You change it back. Which, if you're smart, you'll have a backup anyway. You'll have a palette of just plain ones that haven't been recolored, and you will use paint to take them out individually. So Control Z, and we have an awesome green Rapidash. Spirit looking Rapidash. Now look at this sprite. This sprite is awesome. Also, see what I did there? If you're using paint, you want to make sure, if you don't want that to show up, you want to make sure that the background color too is white. And then you can just, whoops. And then you can just go in and delete it, and it won't turn into another color. There we go. So this is what your finished sprite looks like. You can just either move the color palette away and use it for something else, because that's what I did with the one up here. The site that I used, the project that I used it on, I kept moving it over and recoloring stuff and just adding stuff to the palette because I was using the same color palette. I have the exact same red color palette for every one of these demons. So they all look pretty much uniform, right? The only difference is some of them have more shades of one color than the others, so some of them have more shades of red than the other, but basically they're all the same, except for the extra shades. So you've got this, and you can do this, and you can keep that color palette and change the things over here, and then add colors to it, take colors away, change shades, do it any way you want to do it. The sky's the limit. Now, that is my tutorial on recoloring Pokemon sprites. You want to see what we're doing next week? Or next time? I'm going to show you how to turn a Pokemon trainer sprite into your own personal sprite. First, I'm going to show you how to recolor. And then I'm going to show you how to add things together. Her hair and her entire body come together to make my personal sprite. Thank you for watching. This has been Maruka Edakaji. I'm out.